I like to use Bridge because it will automatically open up Photoshop, and when I save it, it will save it back to the same directory. Okay. I like to use my scroll wheel to zoom in and out, and the best way to do that, if yours is not set up, go to Photoshop Preferences and go to Tools, I think, and there it is. Check that little box that says Zoom with Scroll Wheel. Saves you a lot of time. Just get in the habit of zooming in, otherwise you have to go over here and do it with that, which is a little slower. So, learn your shortcuts. Okay, now we're going to get the W, which is the wand. You click on that. That does a pretty good job because the outside of this thing is gray mostly. Okay, if you go Shift click, it's going to click in here. Just like I can zoom in there with scroll wheel, and I'm going to Shift, see a little plus, click in there. Missed some of it, but go to H, I'm going to drag that over there, and I'm going to go to back to W, Shift, click. Now that did that cleanly. See, I got to fix up that stuff. And is there anything down here? Yes. Shift click. Clicking the most amount of spaces will save you lots of time. So if you can do that, that's done a lot of the work right there. Q for quick mask. Okay, see, it missed it right here. H for hand. Okay, I'm going to go with the lasso tool, and hopefully you know how to use that. You just hold down the Alt key to keep a straight line, and if you decide you want to do something like that, you just hold the mouse button, and that will give you the option. Okay, now you want to use your gradient tool. Okay, gradient tool needs to be set up to this one up here in this mode, color to transparent. This is just a way to fill. The only thing is if you fill it like that, then you've got a gradient. But if you get outside the box, it'll fill the whole thing. Okay. Now Apple D will deselect that. Okay, now go back to, okay, there is some metal behind there. Wasn't sure about that. Okay. There's a little something to take care of. And at some point, okay, it's shaving off the edge of that. As long as you're doing straight lines, the lasso tool works just fine. Okay. Let's back out and look at some of this stuff. Okay. So I'm using that scroll wheel to do all that zooming. And what do we got here? Looks like it missed that, so I'm just making it up. I can see a very faint impression of the metal being there, so I'm just going to presume it is. And Apple D, there we go. Yeah, there's metal back there. Okay. Now, what do we got? Okay, we got some stuff to do here. That's probably straight enough. I can use the lasso tool. And you can do this in little pieces. I wonder if I'm missing something there. Doesn't look like it, so let's just go with that. by the way, I have my, should have mentioned that earlier. I have my wand tool set to 22 tolerance for this particular application. Normally it defaults to 33. And okay, we got some stuff over here to fill in. All right, we're having fun now. Okay, boom, done. Okay, now where are we? I got this over here. H for hand, L for lasso. Oh, wait a minute. We got to start a little higher. Now this is almost needing the pen tool. The nice thing about the pen tool is it allows you to do a rounded, controlled selection. So why don't I show you that next? If we have a place to show it, let's see. I don't know if this application does that. Well, it did such a nice job with the wand that I don't need to. Bummer. Well, I'll show you how the pen tool works anyway. Okay. Get rid of that. Well, I can show you on this little doodad. See, like if you had this curve, this would be great with the pen tool. Okay. Oops, wrong. I need to go Apple X to delete that. Okay, let's get the pen tool out. Pen. Let me explain how the pen tool works. You don't have to do anything with your left hand. Just click and move it over. Click, let go. Click, let go. Gives you a straight line, right? So if you want to curve the line, you click and hold and drag. And you can drag it in lots of different directions to do what you want it to do. So click, drag, click, drag, click, drag, click, drag. Now when you get to the end of it, that little O tells you you're on the end of the line, so you just connect them. So let's go back. Let's see, we started right there. Just if you make a mistake, you can just go back in your history. So have your history open. Okay. I'm gonna zoom in, click, click, click. Now we go click, drag, short one. Click, drag, click, drag, and it gives you a nice, smooth, continuous curve as opposed to a stepped curve. And that's the big advantage. Now I can go straight. And see what I'm going to do here. I'm going to get to the corner. I'm just going to click it. No dragging. And in this case, I'm going to have to go up to there. Boom. Nice straight line. Although I don't think the product is actually straight. Just go over here to the middle. Wait a minute. I missed something here. I went to the wrong place. That looked like the product, but it was not. Okay. Go back. Go back. One more. Okay, I'm going to click. That's the corner. And that's the edge. Sometimes with the mask you can't really see. Okay. Well, let's see what happens if I switch to the hand. I still have my selection now. Go back to the pen tool. And now we do a curve. Straight line. Little curve. Another curve. Whoops, don't do that. Just a little curve. Okay, curve it on around and on around. Now we're off of it. Now we need to zoom out and find out where we connect it. That's going to be over here on the O. Right click, make selection. Once you connect the thing together, you make the selection. And set that up to feather at 1 pixel. Okay, now it's selected. Apple X. Now I've got my color set to black on the foreground. Background is set to white. So if I go Apple X, it deletes all that. Now I got a little stuff to do here, and we'll go ahead and do that again with the pen. It'd probably be just as easy to do this. Whoops, I should have curved it a little. Right click, do not create a vector mask. If you do, just go back with your history. Okay, make selection. It'll stay at 1 pixel. G fill, and there we go. There's a little doodad there. Let's get rid of that. Apple X. I think this is ready to go. So now what we get to do is we go to take off the quick mask by pressing Q again. Go to your background, make it layer 0. Okay, now we have the selection. If we should, now we need to make a vector mask, but if you see the selection is inverted, so if I do, I'm getting rid of the wrong thing. So I'm just going to go back and do an inversion, which is, you'll see up here, select inverse. That's Shift Apple I. That's what I'm going to do, Shift Apple I. And that inverts the selection. I do a mask and it gets rid of all that stuff. So, oh, forgot one thing. It's always a good idea to, and if you forget to do this, it's okay. All the stuff we selected with the wand, oh, that's right. Yeah, it doesn't have a feather. So if you do your selection with the wand, sometimes it'll be a little rough around certain kinds of things. So what I like to do is go select, come on, what's the problem here? Modify, feather, 1 pixel. That just softens the mask. So now when I go there, the mask is just a little bit softer and smoother and more believable. So now we go Shift Command S to save it as a Photoshop file. Since it has layers, that's what it's going to default to. Okay, now that's done. By the way, I might just like center that up a little bit better. There we go. And using the V command gives you that move tool, so you can move that thing around. Apple Save to update that, and then Apple Save as, okay, we'll check that later. Come on, forget about that. Now we need to save it as a JPEG, and when you do, it's going to replace the old JPEG, and it will put a white background in there automatically because JPEGs don't support transparency. Okay, Apple W, and it's done.